In the beginning of the film, we see a girl who was running in the dense forest. There was someone behind her who she was scared of. She hides somewhere where there are many. The bloodied bottles were hanging there. The next moment, the person who was running away from the child comes closer. Now what he did with the child is not shown to us. The scene is cut here. In the next scene, a summer camp was shown, where many children had come to spend their summer holidays in another place. And to handle those children, some counselors were also present here. Actually, this camp was run by a man who was the head of the camp and his daughter. His daughter's name was Haider, with whom his two sons also helped. That is, he used to bring children here every year for summer camp. Haider's elder son was of a very serious habit, while the other one to help them. Now, some other members of the counselor were also present to help them, including one of them, the friend of the son of Haider, whose name was Lauren. Lauren's brother was also there, and the rest were his and Haider's friends. He also used to come to help them every year in summer camp. Now, today was the last day of this summer camp. Lauren's brother and his friend had set up a game for their entire group, which they were going to play at night. After playing, they will also go from here. The head of the camp, that is, Haider's dad, also goes back to his house. Here we found out that he has been running this camp since her youth. She met her wife here, after which they got married quickly, and then her wife died here. Now because Haider's dad was old enough, he wanted to retire from his summer camp. He gave all the responsibilities to Haider and her children. That's why he was leaving from here. And now because it was the last night, all the counselors started having fun here, started enjoying the coffee and a funny joke. Haider's son started telling everyone the story of a nurse that once a nurse used to work in this camp, but she started experimenting on the children secretly, in which she used to give the children wrong medicines and medicine, which had an effect. When she started reading on the children, everyone got to know the truth of the nurse, after which she was removed. Now there was no one in this world. She was mentally not very good. That's why she started living in the woods. She kept living here. She died, and she still lives here, but as a ghost. Whoever calls her, she comes to take her soul with her, so that she can take her. So now jokingly, Haider's son tells everyone, pinch your finger and take out blood from something. After that, call that nurse by her, and then she will come to us too. Now because everyone thinks this is a wrong story, so everyone does this in a joke, but Lauren's brother doesn't. Now Haider's eldest son, who was about to leave the kids, gets into trouble on the way. When he went to check, he notices that all the children have become quiet. When he came back, he was very scared that all the children had disappeared. Seeing this, he was very scared. He starts searching for the children everywhere, but he can't find them anywhere. He could only hear the children's voices, so he moved forward. He goes to search for the children, but he can't find them. And because this place was deserted, he couldn't get help either. There was a public telephone here, through which he could call his grandfather, and he asks her to come to help him. When a friend of Haider was standing alone, his friend came there and asked him to marry her. But because Haider's friend didn't want to marry, he refused and left. When his friend was standing alone there, and now he is there, he starts feeling strange about someone's presence. When Haider's friend came back, he was sitting there. Then his friend came there immediately, whose heart was strained. He suddenly lost control and started hitting his friend with a stone, after which he hits him so much that he throws it in the fire. He got all angry. She was screaming because of the pain. His condition got very bad, so he dies. Although everyone was trying to stop his friend, he was trying to control him, but he had gone so crazy. He was unable to control himself. While stopping him, he accidentally got stabbed by Lawrence's friend. He got hurt by this. Seeing this, everyone got very nervous. They ran to Haider quickly. They told her about the whole situation. They picked up the phone quickly. They called the police. But suddenly the phone got broken. He got hurt by this. And now, because the atmosphere here was very down and strange, Haider also started getting nervous. She tells everyone to gather together. She sends her son to bring the other friends who were in the other cabin. She sends her son to find a microphone or something like this so that he can communicate with someone, call for help. Lauren goes to find first aid, meaning to find things to help those who were injured here when she goes to a room. So she gets some covers here, which were someone's documents. She found it strange, so she keeps them with her so that she can show them to the younger son of Haider, because only he could tell who these documents were. Now when Lauren's brother and his friend were at a... Then here his friend gets busy doing some work, in which Lauren's brother was being threatened by an invisible power. He got very scared and tells his friend about it, but he says that there is nothing. Now Lauren brings those documents to Haider's daughter. When she checked, it was the same nurse's documents. That means the story about the nurse that she told was not a fake story. It was absolutely true, and this is what Lauren tells her. But Haider's daughter, he says that it's all a lie, because the nurse's story is just a story that only scares children and helps them to tell. There is no other truth to it. Now, Haider had to hear both of them. She comes to them. It seemed to him that she was very upset after hearing the name of the nurse. Now, when his three friends, Jumlan's brother and his friend, were going to find him, then one of their friends says something wrong to Haider's friend, which makes him angry and leaves him. That girl's friend felt very bad, and she started fighting with that friend who had spoken in a very bad way. They were fighting. And then she heard her friend screaming. When she went to check with her the situation, there was very bad because there were many blood-stained bottles hanging, and her friend was lying there in a very hurtful condition. Her tongue was cut, and seeing her condition, both her friend's condition deteriorates. Now Haider Sivu. She started asking the reason for her problems. So now she started telling her story to her son and Lauren. That in her childhood, I used to come to this summer camp with my friends, where once I faced that nurse. She caught me and my friends and imprisoned. She tried to experiment on us and scared us a lot, but we were lucky. We left her jungle. But the deep trauma of that thing is still inside me. This is the reason that I got scared after hearing the name of that nurse. But before that, he calls someone and his car, phone, and even all the devices that message are switched off. Now here, his two companions come running, who were screaming out of fear. What they saw, they started telling about it. That someone attacked our friend and cut his tongue. And that place was exactly like rituals are done there. After hearing this, Lauren says that this is the job of that nurse. And now, after hearing the name of the nurse, the sheriff also gets very worried. In childhood, the nurse had also scared him a lot. Because of the problem, Sheriff had to save his life with great difficulty. So now he refuses to help him. Then a boy who was a prisoner of war comes here with a car. And because Sheriff was very scared, he runs away with his car from him. Now Lauren's brother and his friend who were roaming in the woods. So then she sees all the kids running around, who come to one place and start digging the ground. As soon as the hole opens, the nurse's soul comes out of it, which looked so drowning. But here, she was surprised that she could not see Lauren's brother. In fact, she could only see the nurse's friend. And now she sends all the kids, who were under her control, to attack both of them. The kids come and catch Lauren's brother's friend. They beat him so much that they kill him. Seeing this, Lauren's brother got very scared and comes to the others. The kids follow him and attack the others. To escape from them, they hide in another cabin. Now here's Sabi, who was very scared, starts arguing with each other. Haider tells everyone that the nurse will go to life because she wants to be immortal. That means she will never die. So now she kills us and our souls, and it will not stop until they die, who sent him to hell in these hells. And maybe it's those people who called him. That is, they pinched at the beginning, and the killer who ritualized, he did the work to call the nurse. He came after hearing their call. Now here, Lauren's friend makes a plan that I will put all these children, who are in the control of the nurse, behind me and take them to a cabin. And when all the children go inside the cabin, then I will lock the door and all the kids will be locked inside. We will keep the kids locked there all night. Then the next morning, as it happened, the child will be fine and will return to normal, out of the control of the nurse. Because after the night, the nurse who has hypnotized or possessed will break the child's nerves in her control. He does the same. The child starts running from the cabin, or the children start following him. But the child does not go out of the cabin. She catches Lauren's friend. Now seeing this, Lauren's other friend feels that he too would have come into the nurse's possession like the kids. So instead of taking him out, he leaves the kids alone and closes the door. Seeing this, Lauren started getting angry at him. That what are you doing? Take him out. But he refuses to take out his friend. All the children attack Lauren's friend together. He is killed and killed. Now when everyone was together in the cabin, Haider's son started coming from outside. But then a child attacks him, who was left out somehow. In the meantime, Haider's dad came here with a gun, whom Haider's other son had called for help. And he also came along. And now he is all over the children. They start shooting with guns. The nurse's soul comes here and takes the child with. She is also very angry with Haider's younger son that everything is happening because of you. If the nurse comes back, so you are responsible for this. Why did you do that thing with the pinch? On which Haider's son says that I forgive you. I didn't do it on purpose. It was a mistake. I thought that all the stories about the nurse are real. I didn't even realize that it was real. So now Haider's dad, the head of the camp, starts telling everyone the story of the nurse. 20 years ago, when I started this camp, I used to stay here with my wife. Then one day, I got a job at a nurse camp. There was no one else but the nurse. I kept her on the job, but my wife started getting sick. The nurse was taking care of her, but she didn't recover. Instead, she died. On the other hand, the nurse set me up with her love, and we got very close to each other. And then after a few days, my wife died, because of which I was very sad. Later, I found out that the medicine that the nurse was giving to my wife was not to cure her, but to weaken her, so that she could slowly get worse and then get killed. Now many months have passed since then, when the nurse started doing the opposite experiment on the children. Along with that, she started doing strange ritual magic, for which she took the children's blood, and I used to put them in bottles and hang them on trees. When I found out about his behavior, I took him out, but he was getting more and more wrong. So I made a plan to finish him. I started investigating. When I got a good chance, I killed him. This made us understand that the purpose of his camp was to use Haider's dad, so that he could use the children for himself. I saw a ring on her finger, which I immediately removed and buried. The nurse's soul was very angry. She started screaming. Her soul then became a ghost, and she has been living in this jungle since then. She has made this place haunted, and she scares the people who come here. But she comes only when she is called. But once she comes, the game of death begins. Anyway, their mutual force is not there. He took his brother's soul with him. That is, he sacrificed himself, and his companion was saved. That is, he was sacrificing his brother to save his life. After doing this, he ran away from there and quickly started going towards the car. But then, a possessed child comes and puts petrol on him and lights it. Seeing this, everyone came there, but he was very jealous. But he was alive. Or Lauren asks him about her brother. Where is he? But here he does not tell the truth that I am tying him from the tree. But he started doing weird things with Lauren, because of which she got so angry that she started beating. She beat him so much that she killed him. All these people are thinking about getting it. They couldn't see it. Anyway, now they decide to fight it together. And the rest of the people who weren't part of the ritual, they also pinch and do the ritual. And they become a part of it. And they use their brains. They start thinking that if the nerds are attacking us now, it means that they are human now, and this is the right time and opportunity to finish. Now Haider and her dad go away, while the rest of the people, they go to find the nurse. Now they hear the scream of Lauren's brother. As they are following the sound, as soon as the son of Haider came to the scene, they found out that he was not Lauren's brother. He was a nurse who had taken the rope of Lauren's brother, and she cuts off the throat of Haider's daughter and runs away from there. That means she can't even be the face of other people. Seeing her cut throat, Haider's second son and Lauren come and take care of her. But she had lost a lot of blood. That's why she breathes in their hands. Then she catches Haider, who is stopped by Haider's dad. He is shot with a gun. Actually, it was a trap to catch the nurse, because then Lauren comes and attacks him with a bow. But this is not much. But now she shoots Haider's dad with the gun and runs away quickly. But now Haider, her son, and Lauren somehow find her and get control over her and tell her to fix everything. But she gets control over all three and starts strangling them. The witch's laughter is heard, but they attack her with all their might. After beating her, they kill her. She should not be alive again. So now she is cut into pieces. Then she is thrown into the water so that she never comes back. After which it was morning. A police car came here. There was an officer inside. He was brought by Lawrence's brother, who somehow escaped. He came to save his life, but seeing the terrible scene here, his tears also start to fall, and with this, the story of this film ends.